made me proud. I was very impressed. And I was like, yeah, this is our city. This is our staff. This is what happens here.
That was Councillor Anne-Marie Kungl talking about the visit of Communities in Bloom judges to Barrie. Communities in Bloom is a Canadian non-profit organization that rates participating communities on various criteria. This year's theme was the Year of the Garden. In the non-competitive category, Barrie will be rated from 1 to 5 blooms and either awarded bronze, silver, or gold rating. In 2019, when the last evaluation was done, Barrie received 5 blooms silver rating, so only one notch below the top rating. The committee discussed how everyone, including staff, residents, and businesses, stepped up to show to the judges the best of the city. To make sure the judges get the best view, they were given an airplane ride and taken by Councillor Kungl in her convertible. Next month, the current committee will meet for the last time as the next council will reconstitute the committee. Hopefully, the next committee will showcase increasing diversity in Barrie.
Well, thank you for all attending today. We've had the visit from the judges, and I think everything went reasonably well. What we'll do, though, is with the agenda, we don't have any presentations, but we do have just one item for discussion. And Mona, if you could just bring up what the item for discussion is.
It is Communities in Bloom information and events, and an update, on the judge's visit. I think it'd be beneficial just to go through it and stuff and see what worked, what didn't work, etc. and that. So yeah.
Right. Okay, no, that sounds great. So would you like to start off?
Well, you might. I was hoping that you'd like to get a little bit of feedback, from the committee, and see, what you believe that worked, or what you would have liked to add it or subtract it, whatever, and so that we can continuously improve, and then I can speak from my point of view.
Okay, then yeah, because I was just like, you folks were with the judges the whole tour there and stuff, and we sort of only caught up to them at luncheons and get-togethers or where we happened to cross paths and stuff. So it'd be good to get some feedback from you as to their comments and stuff about.
Yeah, for sure, of course.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dorothy, did you want to start off?
Well, I know the judges were very impressed by the airplane ride over the city.
Okay.
They liked being able to, one of them commented that it was a really good idea and a great way to see sort of the big picture of Barrie and focus in on some areas. So I think that was a really good idea this year.
Right.
And all the venues were great for all the meals. And I think it was great how Councillor Kungl presented at the country club and talked about the various community groups and events and programs that we have. So right. I think it was a great visit with the judges. I do.
Okay. Like when you were sitting at some of these luncheons and stuff, I didn't know if you were sitting beside any of the judges, if they had any sort of, that's usually when they kind of open up and make some.
Yeah, they both commented, especially, I was sitting next to the fellow, I forget what his name was, from BC. And
Anthony.
Yeah. And he made a point of saying that, the hospitality has been great everywhere they've gone, but he really made a point of saying that the hospitality he received in Barrie was really top notch. He was very impressed by the friendliness and the program and how they were welcomed and given the opportunities that they were to really be able to perform their job well.
Right.
They seemed quite impressed. They were very, very personally impressed.
Oh, very good. Very good. Hi, Anne-Marie. I see you've joined now.
Hi, Anne-Marie.
Yep.
Thank you. Unfortunately, I was back to back and was just giving some information. I couldn't remove myself right away. So sorry for the delay.
No problem. Okay. So what we've got on this, the major item, or the one item we've got on the agenda, is just sort of sort of personal updates of everybody of how the tour went. Any comments you might have overheard from the judges, positive, negative, and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know if you wanted to speak now.
Sure. Well, and
Okay.
I got the chance to be connected with one of them through part of the day and in our transit loops. So by all means, like just great curiosity, loved the Lakeshore Drive, had lots of questions about, I think was really impressed with the gardens around the military site. My mind's in a couple of different places, so I'm not going to probably get it right. But when we stopped and then did the drive by the lakeshore down towards the veteran gardens,
Mhm.
and then I think there was a part just past the South Shore that has an installation that echoes the sand and the landscape of Dieppe, I believe, and so was like curious around that area, and so I think liked to see how we integrated arts and culture and history and heritage very deliberately.
Right.
There were nice comments about, so I brought that Women and Children's Shelter cookbook, and so about being able to show examples of the integration of food and food security, but also food as culture, and how that relayed back to individuals and residents that were really activated with the city programming and our community gardens, and all the work that Mona and the team were doing really around integrating also vegetables into the public garden beds. And so I think they were very complimentary of that, and they noticed the little things. Like they did comment to say, oh yeah, I noticed that. Like so I think it was really nice, and I was very impressed with Jason and not Kyle.
Taylor.
Taylor, thank you.
Yes.
In the morning around the detail there, and I thought that they were very receptive to kind of seeing how the interdependencies around different departments related to the environment and some of our actions tied to our infrastructure design and intention. So I thought that was a really nice welcoming with a very personal staff presentation.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just stalling here for a minute to see.
Yeah, and Gail's place was amazing.
But
It,
yes.
I was happy how that turned out. You know, well, I knew it would turn out perfect,
Yeah.
but you know, it was an opportunity in that to showcase a residential garden, to showcase, obviously, a really nice, venue in that to, like to have the media in that arrive and do some, Dorothy was the one that saw it. I didn't see it, but the coverage that we received from the TV station, and also, just, an opportunity in that to, to just casually mingle. And I think that they kind of made their rounds. And it was nice that, that they took, that they took the time in that to speak to staff as well that were over at Codrington Parkette there. So yeah, and that was really nice. It was a really good, great boost in that for staff, and that to actually be able to speak with them and join in conversation. And they had, judges and that had some questions for them, et cetera, and that. So it's an opportunity in that to showcase what they do best. So
Yeah.
that was nice. And most of them were students that were over there at the time. So
well, and they liked the student access, right? And they asked for opportunities to speak with them. And so they were quite engaged, I think. And
yes.
Staff were exceptional. But so even just being in earshot of how staff talked about the work that they do, and some of the ways in which that they've got kind of programming in place, like I think they showed up so well in their profession, but also as representatives of the city.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
That's yeah. And I didn't expect anything less, but it was like, again, okay, like if you guys are gonna be, an opportunity for the judge and that to speak to them, right? And because that interaction is really important, at all levels throughout our community. So that I thought that was really neat. And and as well, with the kids and that over at up at Lampman Lane. Above, that interaction and to learn about that. And yeah, for me, I think, and they raved about going, flying over the city, because it was an opportunity to showcase what the city has done to, to purchase, as much land in that around the bay, and what their ongoing plans are, and to see the canopy, like the green space, the canopy of the tree with lots that we actually have. Unless you're up there, you can't visualize it. It's amazing how much greenery that we see from up above, and it also was an opportunity to go, like to showcase like the new development, the new like the commercial, the infrastructure, and that they're throughout the community that's in the process of being built. With the road closures and whatnot, we could have not made it. And also the sports complex as well, which is really important, like to showcase that, but it just takes so much time in that to go from point A to point B. And I think that was a well received, very well. They talked about it, along the way in that, on their farewell trip.
Yeah. Well, what a comprehensive view, right? Like, we know we can't get them everywhere, but for them to have that kind of topical view of the city, I think is impressive.
Yeah, because Barrie is one of those cities that, even as before I moved to Barrie, even it was one of those cities that a lot of people travel through. Probably almost everybody in Ontario travels through it, but you don't really see it. You see basically the highway, and if you get through the highway, you're happy.
But most people don't know you've got Little Lake as you're going past the highway. Like, a lot of people don't know there's Little Lake sitting there.
And I would be the first to admit, for quite a number of years when I was working out of Toronto heading north, I didn't really realize that Barrie was even on the water per se. I knew it was on the water, but until I'd actually come down and turned off the highway, you can fly by and not really realize that it's such a beautiful city with all the water development downtown. But just I agree with the terms of the airplane ride, though. That's got to give a tremendous different view of the city, because you're kind of coming up and you're making a bend to go around end of Kempenfeld Bay, then you're coming back the other way and stuff, and you think, well, which way was I going? It's kind of like being in Windsor, is another town the city that you don't know if you're going northeast, south, or west, because it turns so much around the water. Mm-hmm. And I think that's really great that they do get that airplane ride. That's really essential, I think. Yeah. And you do see a tremendous amount of tree canopy.
Yes, it's something to see. And and also we were able to showcase the our environmental center, like the landfill up there, and just to see it going through the site, but up above too. They commented on like just like they were really impressed about our recycling, just the programs, and that it was great to have Lindsay Quinn and that there join us to explain all of that to all the great things that they're doing up there.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that was another area that I don't think I brought it up at the time, but we just discovered that you've got that disc golf course up there on top of the hill. It's at the landfill site. Mm-hmm. And nobody, I would think probably 30% of the people in Barrie even know about it. Yet it's great up in top there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's well used, from what I don't go out there and play it, but I know that some of our own staff and that they go up there as well, and it's well used from what I understand.
Well, I knew the staff too when we were early getting to Lampman Lane ahead of folks, and I know the staff was really excited to find out or to talk to the judges. Like they were like a bunch of little kids running around up there. Are they here yet? Do you know where they are? And that's what you want. You want a wide variety. Like you want to try and showcase as much as possible within a very limited time frame. Obviously, especially this year with them arriving, the latter part of the day. So we kind of lost that day. So I know that it was probably seemed like a bit of a, but it had to be, no doubt about it, or else we would have, lost the opportunities, I think, to showcase some of our, great things that people, like that staff and the general public and that, our business organizations, all of them do for us. So. Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Darcine, did you have some comments?
About?
We're doing your view on how the judges.
Oh, I think it went great. Like they did make the one comment that like between the two of them, when they first come into a location, their take on it. Like, and one of the first questions they asked themselves is, would I want to live in this community? And they both said yes for Barrie, 100%. You know, they're quite impressed.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Yeah, that was quite a compliment. And then I guess the only one little hiccup was, I guess Martin.
I think it was Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we were down at Wilkins Beach there, he made the comment that, like, they've redone it. I think it looks great and everything. And they're letting the plants that were native to that area sort of flourish within the boundary. But I think Jenna handled it very well, because his complaint was it was an invasive species that they were letting kind of take over. So she was really good about it. She kind of went, oh, okay, right? And nodded her head and stuff. But she wasn't aware, I don't think, even that it was an invasive.
Yeah,
No, actually, we discussed that afterwards.
Yeah.
I hadn't been down there, since restoration and whatnot.
Yeah.
And, but it was an opportunity in that there, because we want to learn from the judges as well.
Yes.
So, and as much as they want to learn from us, it's an opportunity for us to network and learn from them. So, and Martin, he's an author. That's his forte is process. So he knows his stuff. And, there was, an opportunity for us, like for Jenna, and the ones that do the restorations and that, to learn from someone who knows exactly, what would have been more beneficial to have planted there, we'll say.
Yeah.
But what an interesting opportunity because I learned a lot even through his commentary on, like, looking at the flora and fauna, and what a deep expertise, like very unique individual from someone's lens on your city, and even commented, I think, along the waterfront, just saying, oh, I've seen that, but I haven't seen it used in that way. And I think it adds to a lot of the root system adds to a lot of erosion prevention along the shoreline, and also doesn't need a lot of water. And so he was taking a very unique lens, which was interesting around, I could have walked by that space and said, well, that's beautiful plants, but he actually talked a lot about the functionality of some of the plant selection too. So it was great to kind of hear him notice those things and see how we applied them, whether it's shoreline management or other pieces.
That's interesting, because I know that, well, we missed out on the walk down through the waterfront, and I was going to ask Dorothy and Mona, who were down in there, did they have any comments? Like, it's really tons of people were down there to start off with, and it's sort of a real mixed use area. So was just curious what they had to say about it, or if they made any comment.
They were, going through, like listening. I mean, it was great, because Jenna was there to explain, like what the reasons why and what was happening on that particular site, and how, how the city stepped up and had that, vision to, like to still allow this, but to, kind of, protect the area as well.
Right.
Yeah, they noticed on the walk down at Centennial, like the accessible picnic tables and the activation with the barbecues, and just how people were invited into the space. And it was quite nice. Staff did a wonderful job. I think we stopped by the bridge area there and talked a little bit about the history of the area and the space, some of the plaques that were identified by the bridge, but also we visited the basketball courts and even talked a bit about, like, how deliberate staff were around the type of, like, flooring or base, right? And so when we look at sand coming from a beach area into an activated recreational space, how important it was, so you weren't looking at slips and falls, but also around management of the space. And so there's a really unique, if you haven't been to the basketball court, it's a very cool material that's used as the base. It's not cement or pavement in any means.
Right.
Yeah, we really did want to showcase, because so many people ask about the basketball court. So that was definitely something there. And, and then just the passive, like the, like everything that is kind of combined within Centennial Park and along the lakeshore as well. Just, showcase, what happens down there, there's, and how far, visitors and that will come to visit and stay, stay for a day or whatever, So, yeah.
Yeah, we
They were-
talked about like
they
the
were impressed.
rental paddling business and others that kind of use the space, and scuba
Yeah.
divers, and just how people kind of intersect with their business interests with kind of residents and tourists.
Sure.
Mhm.
And definitely the your little car was a big hit there with Anthony.
Yeah. Did you ever get it back?
It
Yeah.
was a hard bargain.
Yeah,
I even
really.
let him eat a butter tart in it.
That was actually fun, you know, it's a
That was
fun
a lot of fun.
opportunity. So thank you for that.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
What was that little car?
That I had a convertible out, so it was nice to have one of the judges when we're especially going through the lakeshore. Just different ways in which you
Yeah.
can kind of see the space, and was really much closer to some of the garden areas and the medians. And so I think it was. I was
Cool,
just,
yeah.
I was just waving to people, and he's like, "Look at the flowers and space and people at the." So it was, I think, nice just to have that physical barrier removed as
Yeah.
you're transiting down the lakeshore.
Yeah, no, that was
Nice.
great, actually. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was really surprised that you didn't talk him into putting on the bumblebee outfit, but
You
I
know,
didn't know where
Anthony
the
probably
overreach
would
was.
have.
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Anthony probably would have done it. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
I think
Would have.
so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were lovely, very lovely.
They were very,
Yeah.
you know, I wasn't sure, you know, what to expect, you know, from Anthony. I had not met him. Martin, yes, I had previously, you know, just networking across Canada, but I hadn't had the pleasure, you know, of meeting Anthony, you know, even at Landscape, you know, Ontario and stuff and that. So, yeah, I just found him just very, very genuine all the way, you know, from the get-go, even right at the airport, right through to, you know, through the tour, and again, you know, when we were dropping them off.
Yeah.
Very genuine, both of them, really.
Mhm.
Well organized, Mona. It was great.
Yep.
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 Absolutely.
A big thanks there too to Gail Reed for
Yep.
hosting.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was fabulous. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I knew that we had to feed, you know, we need to have a washroom break. We need to have an opportunity to wash up a little bit,
Yeah.
and need somewhere to feed them for the lunch. And I was like, how, you know, and it just clicked. We're about, you know, if Gail was going to be home, you know,
Yeah.
I was hoping that she would, you know, so pulled over the vehicle and ran, and I saw her out front there, and I
Mhm.
ran and asked her, and I said, listen, I know this is maybe a little bit short notice, but I mean, she had a couple of weeks, but
Yeah.
you know, I'd like you to consider hosting, you know, a luncheon. Like, we'll do everything. It's just really if we could, you know, showcase your gardens. And then I had been contacted by Nicole King, who's very, very supportive of the program as well. And so then they asked, you know, what whereabouts or along the way of the entire visit, what would be, you know, an opportunity in that there that I would think that would be, you know, kind of really, you know, a warm fuzzy thing. And so I instantly, you know, asked Gail if she would mind if we, you know, if I invited
Yeah.
the media to join, in which obviously Dorothy saw it. I didn't have the pleasure, but we're both, yeah, they were very, very kind. And Nicole sent a same thing, you know, thanks to all of us to, you know, for allowing, you know, inviting them into, you know, into
Yeah.
this time, you know, during their
Yeah, it was
stay.
nice.
So,
It was nice. I've got a card to send to her. That's okay.
yeah.
Can
Yeah,
I
we
ask where?
sent out-
Sorry.
Oh no. Oh, I just said,
That's
yeah,
your
we
Nicola?
sent out, you know, we sent out thank yous and whatnot, but mhm.
Can I just ask where we got the sandwiches from? I thought they were great.
Yes, actually, you know what? They were very specific. I went to Homestead Bakery on Dunlop Street, and
Okay.
and they were so great. You know, just, you know, very, very accommodating. And
Yeah.
you know, if there was anything particular that like I always ask the judges if they have any dietary you know, requirements or special you know, needs as far as whether even at a hotel, you know, if they're, you know, taller person, do they need an extent, you know, like the longer bed or anything. I just really want them to feel like that they're at home away
Yeah.
from home when they come to Barrie. So
Yeah, it was a lovely day, Mona. You did an exceptional job.
Yeah.
you know,
And the weather cooperated, thank goodness.
Yes.
team effort from the committee, team effort, obviously, you know, from, you know, our staff over here at the operations center. I mean, and it's throughout, it's not just horticulture. I mean, it's, all like parks and forestry and roads and communications. I mean, we couldn't do it without our communications, department being so accommodating. So
It made me proud. I was very impressed. And I was like, yeah, this is our city. This is our staff. This is what happens here. It's good. Yeah, lots to be proud of. Yeah.
Well, I think, and it was excellent. I mean, like to have you kind of touch base on, bullet points, and that there are some of the opportunities and that we weren't able to showcase due to lack of time, but they were all, all there. And one of the things is that the first thing that came out, that they said to me when I met them at the airport inside there was, your profile book is perfect. Exactly what they want in a profile book.
Oh,
yeah,
good.
first words. I mean, other than hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's excellent.
Yep. And the presentation was great too.
Yeah. Yep.
Down at
Oh, I kind of kept going. I was like, oh, okay, I got lots to cover here. I'm just going to keep on going.
Yeah, no, it was perfect. And
Yep.
and I think, the like during the breakfast or brunch, prior to them leaving, it's an opportunity that there for, for them to, ask some last minute, things. I think by that time they were, pretty full. They had their plate pretty full with information, because of course at the it was about 20 to 11, had a request on that to, maybe visit a museum, maybe visit,
Yes.
like the greenhouses, because a lot of municipalities do not have their own greenhouses. And even though that we, ours is older establishment, it still beautifies the city of Barrie, as I always tell them. So, but yeah, there was, some definitely, there was probably half a dozen things that they asked for at the last minute. And then at the brunch there afterward, because we dropped them off. And after that, then I said, is there anything that we're missing? And said, no.
Good.
Yeah.
And I sent them the presentation as a backup.
Yes, I saw that. And thank you. And I had that too.
I also thought it was good at the breakfast presentation there too, that we were able to sort of get Jason in there virtually, like it made us look a little bit more up to date with our technology kind of thing, and having Taylor Green there to sort of assist. That worked out well, even though
initially,
it was a hiccup.
Yeah. So initially, it was Jason that was going to come there, and through no fault of his own, he was unable to join us. So it was, great to hear that Taylor was able to join us in, right there, and then have Jason that, piping, with what his expertise and what Taylor's and that, it was really very impressive. I was proud of them both.
They did a great job.
Yeah.
It's a good team.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's really what it takes is a great team.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you ever wanted to do like a hiring 101 about what it's like to work, it's kind of like, here's your spotlight on all the different departments, and those are the staff you need to have talk about the work that they do, because they talked about it with a lot of passion and a lot of pride, and
each and every one of them, I think, each and every staff member, I mean, as I always say, I feel blessed to be able to come to work and to something that has always been my career path, but it's a great opportunity, but to also pull in like our committee, who's has a lot of knowledge in that, in their own expertise. So it truly does take that team all around.
Yeah, that's great.
Now, just as a follow-up, I guess in terms of in past years, not the last few, but in past years, we've sort of had a wrap-up dinner to thank the participants. Are we going to send out something to them, just thanking them one last time kind of a thing, just a note or something, or if we should wait till the actual what do you call it?
I got my certificates.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah.
Well, and that was something that I wanted to send out right away, and it was very clear in that because we weren't sure how things that would go. as far as, unfortunately, the pandemic. But and of course, we have to plan way in advance for bookings, etc. Is that we let them know, that unfortunately, just to be smart about it, is that we wouldn't be able to host, the community luncheon. But
Right.
that's why we ran the like all of their photos and whatnot of their, properties. So that went really, really well. They noted, I wasn't sure if they, during the conversations, if they would have an opportunity, but they spoke about that as well. And that just shows the community, as a whole, that is, communities in Bloom and Barrie is well known across internationally, whether you're in Belgium or out in BC or wherever. So, we've been blessed with, multiple successes, but we continue to learn, and it's an opportunity to learn from, other municipalities, what they do great. And that's why I asked, Martin about, some of the other communities and that, like what great things that they're, like, are they doing, like that maybe would stand out that we might be able to adopt as well. So
Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, because it's really, at the end of the day, it's all about sharing information and
absolutely,
trying to make the world a better place.
you better believe it.
One sunflower at a time.
Yes.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
Do we know when we're going to hear back? Did I miss that coming in a little bit after?
Yes, so we will hear back. I believe it would be, I think the thing is being held in BC this year in Victoria, and it will be October the 23rd. So it would be latter part of that evening or else the next day. And I've already had requests on that. Do you know when? Do you know when? Do you know when? So yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah.
Oh, we'll look forward to it.
Oh, yes. Well, I think we'll do well. I think we'll do well.
Well, it's always, it's great that, for me, is to get the evaluation grid back, and, so that we can learn, it's great because there are both new judges and that they're two Barrie. So, just to see the comments and that I'll make sure, like, that obviously, you all get a copy of it when it comes in, is, it's an opportunity to see what they see through their eyes, and that when they visit at Barrie.
Yeah, and it's neat that they were two new people this time around.
Mm.
That you're not sort of they're sort of getting hit with a whole new community, as opposed to one judge who, I've been here before, I saw that. Now, have you improved upon that part? Or it's kind of,
no, it's true, and that was something that I was asked, actually after breakfast, was about having a judge and that come back, and I said, like, it's fine, but we need a minimum of 2 years in between, because there's a lot that can happen, but there's certain things that you just unfortunately you just can't change things up or move forward on on something that the one judge may have seen like the year before. So I said, that was my recommendation, is not to have a returning judge, the same returning judge, any close to like not back-to-back years. It just,
no, for sure.
Yeah. You can't showcase, and I said to them that it is difficult for us, because we want to showcase the new judge, visiting judge, a lot of stuff. And then, and we want to be able to still showcase some of the new initiatives, et cetera, and that. But there's some stuff that would be really pertinent for the new judge to see. And, so, and even though that the other judge in that has, seen something, and we may not have been able to move forward or even had a reason to move forward with that initiative. So,
yeah, it's all a dance.
It's a dance. And so next time you have to sing.
Well, we'll have to vote on that one, and I don't know who the singer in the
I
group
vote
is, but-
Carl.
Oh, no. I've sent many a dog howling away. So okay. The other item I was just going to mention, just occurred to me today, was too that for all of the committee members and stuff, we're coming up soon where we're going to have to reapply for our positions. And I wasn't sure when that is. If it's after the mayor and everybody has been reelected and stuff, I think that they then.
That's something that
committee
Brandy
members or
could,
something.
yeah, Brandy may have that specific date, and it is definitely, you know.
Yeah, I don't have a specific date, but it's definitely after the new term of council comes in.
Oh, okay. All right. I was curious. I didn't know, how long I can continue to impress people by saying I'm a chairperson.
You
Keep
can continue
bugging.
anytime.
Mind you, they're not impressed anyways, apparently. So.
Well, I think usually it's like the committee ones, if I recall correctly, it is usually sometime the latter part of November, is it not, Brandy? If I recall that like applications and that they're being accepted for that. If I recall the last few
I'm not really sure. That would definitely be something that I would have to check on.
Yeah, I think I've got it here. I had asked Wendy about that for another committee. I'm just see if I can pull it up.
Hard to believe 4 years has gone by.
Yeah, I know. So I'm kind of reading this as I go. So I've asked about this because I think I had another committee where we thought we were meeting in September and October.
Right.
So I believe at this time, maybe to check Brandy, but my understanding is as follows. The only, for advisory committees, which we are one, it looks like there's going to be a request that we wrap up in September, just because it is an election year. So I would assume, Carl, that there's no meeting that will be held in October, or if it is, it would be canceled.
Okay.
And that the city will soon be posting for the non-discretionary committees. So those are the ones that are legislated, like Committee of Adjustment, Police Services Board, Heritage. And so the discretionary committees are like this one, Active Transportation, I think Seniors Committee, and so forth.
Oh, okay.
So they will be posted for a call for membership after the new council is sworn in. And because I think there's an opportunity for that new council to identify maybe which discretionary committees continue. I'm not sure, Mona, if this is considered discretionary or non-discretionary, because it's tied so tightly to the programming. But the recommendation is that I think we focus on planning a September agenda, but maybe not any further than that.
Okay.
Okay. No, that's fair.
Until when?
Okay. Well, their new council would take an oath in November. So probably after the new council is in and mayor and council decide on kind of reconfirmation of committees or maybe any addition or changes, I would assume that likely by December, January, we would probably be looking at that kind of timeline between identifying what the committee is, what the terms of reference is, and a call for membership, if it's anything that's new.
And that's usually posted in the newspaper, I think, as well.
Yeah, the city's communications usually use their e-newsletter, the paper, and their social media accounts.
Okay.
And I know that, recording secretary, they usually, give a heads up, when it's, once it's posted, just, for an opportunity for, whomever wishes to apply or reapply or whatnot.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
Yeah. Maybe that's something, if you're okay with Brandy, is asking maybe Wendy if there's a timeline to which all current committees and chairs might be able to get the same message about whether or not identifying if they're discretionary or not, when those chairs should be planning to close out the agenda for the term, and if they can share with membership currently, but when to watch if they want to reapply.
Yeah, that'd be helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up as an item because I realized all of a sudden that it was the 4 years are up again. So it's
flew by.
good.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm assuming meetings wouldn't start before mid-November onwards, right? At earliest mid-November, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we have the last meeting then would be the September meeting, which would be September the, what is it?
15th.
15th? Yeah,
Yeah.
September the 15th. Okay.
And then Mona, although this committee won't be meeting, is it still, and maybe this is a question for Brandy, appropriate for us as the membership of this committee to get an update by email about the outcome of the Communities in Bloom results?
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah.
So that's end of October. Okay.
Yes, yes. As soon as we receive it, then there's a press release that is sent out as well. And, from Communities in Bloom head office. And it, of course, I received that. And then I usually, by then shortly thereafter, then I would receive the evaluation, grade evaluation, and circulate that as well as the, the outcome. And it is like an overall for across Canada, a press release that they send out.
That's wonderful. Because I know that at least when we had identified appointments to membership, it was to November. I think it's just we're not meeting up until like November 15th or something like that because of the election.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So that's in September. Okay. So we'll definitely have our last meeting in September. That will mean we don't get our usual October Halloween dress up meeting. So
We can change that.
if anybody, wanted the Halloween dress up committee, or not committee, but the activity on September, we'll bring it up as a suggestion, and Brandy can let us know if we need to come dressed up or not.
That's right.
Do we get to meet in the
Sounds
garden and in the pumpkin patch?
Just
Yeah,
do it.
yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah, at midnight. Yeah, okay. I'm seeing Peanuts comic strip here. Oh, God. Well, all right then. Does anybody else have anything else they want to say, speak up, or otherwise we will adjourn our meeting?
I'll see you in September, but this has been like such a great experience going through the judges tour.
Good. Well, I'm glad that you're able to join us, and just see really and truly what happens behind the scenes, and it's an opportunity like to always network with them, and they're always really receptive of we've been pretty lucky. Yeah.
Yep.
Sure.
Yep. And certainly we've been blessed with a good committee. So
Yes. I mean, more than blessed. Yeah, for sure. It's an honor actually to work with you all.
Yep. All right then.
I might have cut off Dorothy.
Oh, I was just going to make
Oh,
a
sorry.
comment.
Yeah.
I was just going to make a comment about the CTV local Barrie news story on Communities in Bloom. Sometimes you can go to their website and check back for in their archives sometimes they post copies of stories.
Okay. Thank you.
So you might be able to dig it up there. I don't know. I haven't checked, but
Yeah, that's a good suggestion.
Yeah.
sometimes you can even send them an email and request that they send it to you.
Oh, okay.
You could try that. Maybe
Sure.
Carl is chair of Communities in Bloom. You might even be able to get that. Or Anne Marie Kungl, as Councillor Kungl, you might be able to do that too.
Yeah, she might have more sway.
Yeah, you might have some pull there.
Sorry,
What does that mean?
Maybe we just have to
Player
ask.
profile?
Some people do what I say, not everybody. Apparently. That's fine. That's another matter.
Oh,
This is good. I found some articles. I'll dig and then I'll see what I can find. If I can't find it, I'll ask directly for Nicole.
Okay.
awesome.
All right, that sounds great then. So everyone have a safe and happy first part of September and the last of August, and we'll see you on September 15th.
Yeah.
That sounds
Yeah.
good.
And if
Okay,
there's any
thanks a lot.
questions,
Thank you.
yeah, just reach out. Let me know if you forgot something and you want to find out about it, whether or not it's something that maybe the judges that would have maybe commented, just off the cuff or whatever. But yeah, reach out. You know where to find me.
Okay.
Right.
Sounds
All righty then. Take care.
See ya. Thanks.
Right.
Bye
Good
bye.
night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.